Seja Majeed at Project Mosaic in London. Seja, thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
You are a young Briton doing inspiring work and setting quite an exciting example for other young people in the UK. You're 23 years old, a graduate in law from Brunel University. You're now doing your master's in law at City University. You also have a diploma from the London Academy of Radio, Film and TV. You were born in Algeria. Your mother and father were born in Iraq. Your mother is of Iranian descent. How old were you when you first came to the UK?
I was actually 1 year old when I came from Algeria, so I've been here for quite a while.
What do you believe causes radicalization of some young people, and how can this be prevented?
I think, unfortunately, what seems to happen is that there are people out there with radical views, and these people kind of prey on vulnerable people. And research has also proven that these individuals who are radical actually go to universities and try to radicalize other young people. And I think sometimes the university can be a breeding ground for radicals. I've been told myself, I'm a Muslim woman, I wear a scarf, that actually from a radical perspective, I'm not a Muslim woman because I wear makeup and because, I have certain liberal views. So, I mean, if they can't identify with me, then how do they expect to identify with the non-Muslim? So it's a combination of their upbringing, I think. I think that sometimes when you have very extreme parents, that can actually have an effect on the young person. They assume that the extreme idea, the extreme view on life is the normal view, when it's not. The majority of people are liberal, the majority of people, love democracy and freedom, whereas these people don't identify with that. So it's the upbringing that really needs to be focused on. And also because, like I said, it's a power struggle. These individuals who are radical thrive on themselves being powerful. And so when you radicalize someone, you're kind of obviously brainwashing them, and that's an element of being powerful or superior on another person. So they might have psychological problems also, because an individual who blows up themselves, be it in Iraq or elsewhere, is an individual who has a psychological problem. It's just beyond comprehension.
Seja, may I ask, what role does faith have in your life?
Well, it plays obviously a big deal because I'm wearing my scarf. I think that, I am obviously a Muslim, but I went to Church of England school, secondary school, and I remember I used to always go to the church on Mondays, and we'd sing hymns and stuff like that, and they'd have communion and stuff. And I was a Muslim, girl in a it was quite an orthodox Church of England school. Faith for me plays a very important role because it reminds, or it gives people hope as well. I mean, when somebody has gone through a lot of problems, there's that element of spirituality that really uplifts a person that they might be lacking, in the normal sense of the world. I'm proud to say that I'm a Muslim woman who's lived in, a Christian society and gone to a Church of England school. I think it's nice.
As a Muslim, do you have any message for people in the United States, including people that lost firefighters on 9/11?
It's obviously it's a tragedy what happened on September the 11th, without a doubt, and I think that any person who is, whether they're a Muslim or not, needs to condemn that incident. And obviously my heart goes out to any individual who has lost someone or knows of someone who's unfortunately died in that tragic circumstance. But what I would love the Americans to know is that we are not all extremists. I think it's number one. I myself have lost 2 uncles through executions by Saddam Hussein, so I have experienced that sense of loss, the tragedy and the pain that somebody goes through when they have lost somebody in a shocking way. So we are against any atrocity like that, and that was an atrocity, and we need to stand up, and we will say that that was wrong. So our hearts and sympathy does actually go out to the American people.
When your 2 uncles were executed in Iraq during the time of Saddam Hussein, did that shake your faith? Did it shake your belief in peaceful social change?
I think, well, it did to some degree. I mean, sometimes I feel, at the end of the day, we've lost a great part of us. It's so difficult, to know that, 2 of your uncles were murdered, literally. But it actually inspires me more. It's done the opposite. You know, it hasn't broken me. It's made me feel that it's important to stand up for what is right and to protect and preserve life. And that is the goal and the effect that it has had on me. You need to take the negative and make it into a positive, I think. So it hasn't broken my faith or actually, you know, denied my perspectives on human rights. It's actually made me want to fight for it and say, look, we can create changes. And I wouldn't never want anybody to go through what my family have gone through. And so it's through a constant struggle that you have to make sure that that doesn't happen again.
May I ask what were the circumstances?
Because it was because my mother's family are of Iranian origin, and obviously because Iraq and Iran had very bad, you know, a bad relationship because of the war. They actually took my uncle, my youngest uncle. Actually, he was 21 at the time when he was executed. He was taken from university, and literally 6 months later, you know, no trial, nothing, he was executed. And my other uncle, he was taken in 1986 when my mother was pregnant with me, and he was basically imprisoned until 1991. And after the Kuwait War, he disappeared from the prison, and you know, we assume he's in a mass grave. So we don't know where he is or anything like that.
I'm so sorry.
Seja, as a Muslim, do you believe that people carrying out suicide bombings and doing so supposedly in the name of Islam are actually real Muslims?
No, I don't. I don't think they are true Muslim at all. Because in Islam it says if you take away one life, it's as if you're taking all of humanity. So any individual who kills another, that is absolutely un-Islamic in principle. And the fact that these individuals are innocent people, you know, I mean, the mentality of this person who is killing another, you know, it's beyond comprehension for me. I can't understand it.
What can members of the community do to help prevent young people from being radicalized, from being lured into extremist groups?
The parents have a responsibility to make sure that they bring up their children in a way that, you know, relates to Islamic teachings, but also the Western teachings. You know, we are living in a Western world. We should expect to live by Western rules also, where if we suspect anybody is being radicalized, or we suspect that, you know, somebody's acting suspicious, we need to inform people about it, and it's up to the community to do that as well, the Muslim community to do that. You know, there's a taboo, unfortunately, out there that, you know, we shouldn't get involved, we shouldn't tell institutions if we are concerned. That's not the case. You know, these individuals affect you as much as they affect me. You know, it's my responsibility to get involved, you know, so I think that's very important.
Do you have any other thoughts on this subject and on the subject of how we can motivate and inspire and encourage young people to be engaged in building a better society?
Always be hopeful. You know, life is sometimes filled with a lot of calamity, but if you're always hopeful, you'll always see that light at the end of the tunnel, regardless of whatever, you know, problems you face. And I think that it's your optimistic view on life that really can create changes. Whether you're interested in politics, media, whatever, it's always trying to unlock who you are as a person and sharing your strengths with society. And I think that, you know, for the young person particularly, they can make that big difference. So do things that you enjoy, because it's usually there where your strength lies. And believe in yourself and always be hopeful, regardless of the situation.
Seja Majeed, thank you very much.
Thank you.